Well, hello and welcome, Andrew here. Now, today we're going to talk about the steps to take to get started. All right. Now, we're going to work through a document which we've created, which is a resource for all of us to be able to go from deciding that you're going to join this amazing business and kicking it off and then getting your business started. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of different people coming from different angles. Not everyone wants to go out and network and build a team. Some people want to do this passively. Some people want to cruise along at their own pace, and some people want to rip it apart and get there as soon as possible. So we're going to try and cater for all of those. And if you're here and I'm talking about tearing it apart and you're here just to do it along the way, that's cool. And everyone's happy. So don't feel like we're trying to stuff something down your throat. You are where you're at, and that's awesome. All right. So just we'll go from there. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to go over to the document we're talking about. Now, this is a bit of a work in progress, but it's pretty close. All right. So when you first decide, right, I'm going to join, right, and what do you do from there? First of all, you need to basically get the package bought, get the paperwork out of the way. So you've got the package, whether it's a 300, 500,000, whatever package you want. As long as you're paid and in the door, you can always upgrade at a later date. Okay. Straight after that, you want to make sure you're tapped into the resources. Now we're part of the elite team. So we've got all of those resources. There is, how many is there? 8 or 9 Telegram groups. Now, the main one is the team chat, but there's also announcements where you see all the upgrades and rank advancements and things like that in there. Our team support, right? If you have a support issue, go in there first and ask the question before trying to put a ticket, into the system. You may get a better answer, or you may get the process exactly what you need to do before you even message support, which speeds everything up. Okay. Then there's some PowerBuild training, which we'll mention later on, and then archives of different trainings and how to do things, videos. And this one's a really good one. If ever you upgrade in that, you just put your name and photograph in there, and then magically the graphic appears back in the team announcements one. It's really cool. Thanks to Mick and Tracy, who was just on there, really cool. And then, of course, you want to be added to our group chat, where you just get your sponsor to add you. Okay, simple as that. So that's kind of got, and now I believe there's a Facebook group as well for prospects. We will add whatever we need to be in there, but just got to make sure that you're tapped into the system and understand what's in there. Okay, so then really it gets down to, right, what do you want out of this? Right, everyone's got their own reasons, and we can't put that into you. Right, I mean, although when I hear people, you ask them what they want out of this, they go, I want 10,000 a month. Now, just saying those words doesn't mean anything, because as soon as it gets difficult, or you have to ring someone on your chicken list, right, your fear becomes greater than the 10,000 a month, and you don't do it. Okay, you've got to find what your reason is to go out and do this. A lot of it's got to do with freedom, legacy, or something you don't want. I don't want to work. I don't want to have the stress of going to work in COVID. I don't want to have the injection to have a job, or whatever your reason is. You need to find it. Now, there is training by Fraser Brooks, which is really great, and it really nails down on that one thing. It's called Find Your Whoop, WOOP, and that is, what is the one, if you could change one thing, one wish. And don't say I want to be 6 inches taller or whatever, because you can't just buy that, can you? But what would be the one thing that would get you up out of bed and make you go out and chase it? Okay. Initially, I mean, look, when I first started networking, it was literally to put food on the table, because I was dead set broke. But once you've got those sort of things covered, you start to go, something like this. Who can see that? It's a 50-foot trimaran. All right, that's got 4 double bedrooms with en suites in it. Yeah, you can go anywhere in the world in that. Now that's right there in front of me, or I'm looking at it all day long. So that's what's driving me at the moment. Okay, and everything that the freedom and everything that goes along with just that symbolism. But that would be lovely, you know. And to achieve that, I go there quite often. I just look at those photos and imagine myself at the helm, cruising around, you know, stop off at you know, South Africa or a Queensland or wherever the teams are. Okay, pick up a whole bunch of team members and go sailing through the Whitsundays and have a couple of day champagne and you know, caviar, whatever celebration. And how awesome that would be to go and do that. So I can really feel how it's going to feel. I can picture myself in that situation. And that's what you need to do as well. Work out what your one thing is, and then go there as if you've already achieved it, and get that sense of what do you call it? Sense of accomplishment of achieving it, right? And bring that feeling back today, knowing that you know, and it really lifts your energy. Okay. Now the next question is, what are your obstacles? What's holding you back from achieving it right now? If you're in a job, you're obviously on a fixed income. There's only so many hours in the day, right? There's only so many things you can sell, right? What's holding you back? And for every person, that's different, right? And what's your current plan to make your one wish come true? Now, most people don't have one, right? Especially in today's world. So if you go and watch that training, and another one that's good is 7 Levels Deep by Dean Graciosi. I'll actually find that and put that in there, right? Now, the premise behind that is, you know, I want 10 grand a month. Well, then what you do is you ask why 7 times. Why is $10,000 a month important to you? Okay. And then you come up with a reason why. And then you say, well, why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? Specifically. And what you do is you go from your head into your heart, and you find something that really does resonate with you. Okay. So I would suggest doing that and working out what your reason is, and have that focus right in front of you. Like, you know, you don't have to have a dream board. That's just 5 photos I'd printed out and stuck on a piece of paper. That's it. So now the road to independence, right? Here's where we kind of veer more into the if you want to build a business side. Okay. Now my goal for anyone that I join up is to have you become independent of me, right, as soon as I can. Now Victoria is a perfect case example right there. She's got her own team, Invictus. She's out there running her own meetings and everything, and that's absolutely awesome. I love that, right? And there should be more of it, because you don't want, you know, I don't want Victoria or anyone else to be dependent upon me to go out and build a global business. Don't get me wrong, I'm always there, but if God forbid if something happens, you want to be able to go out and lead your team and build a massive business anywhere in the world. Okay. Now, does that sound like a good goal? Can we have some ones in the chat if you think you becoming independent of your sponsor is a good thing? Yep, we're starting to get some ones in there now. Absolutely. Now, how long would you like it to take? 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, right? Because it is a process. Okay. You will have to grow personally, learn some skills along the way, but don't be daunted. Right, it's a natural progression of just building a business. Okay, and the point is, I'm here to help you, but you will build your own business. Right? I'm not going to put 15 people in there and build it for you. You're going to have to do that, but I'm here to support in any way I can. Right, and the success or failure of your business is in your hands. Right, is that fair enough? You've got to take responsibility for your own actions. Now, the best way that we communicate, guys, is by setting assignments. Okay, so if you talk to me or Willie or Alex or Victoria, I'm sure they'll set you an assignment. Now, what do I mean by that? Say, all right, your next step is to go out and get the video in front of 10 people, or your next step is to go out and make sure you join all the Telegram groups. Right, it's something, a task that you need to complete before you get on and talk to the person next time, or within a certain time frame. Right now, as a leader or as someone in, you know, in a position of authority that's helping people do this, you'll set an assignment and you want to try and stretch that person a little bit as well. Okay. So if you say, right, you know, by Friday, you should get the video in front of 10 people. And on Friday, they don't get back to you. All right. Or you ring them on Saturday morning and say, what happened? And life got into me. I only got the video out once. I said, well, that's cool. Right. At least you got one out. Let's reset and go for another 5 by Sunday night. But, you know, if you set the bar too high, sometimes people can't jump that high. So basically you've got to understand that life happens, and maybe that assignment you give might have been just a little bit too much for the person at the time. Lower the bar a bit, get them to something they can achieve, and then they'll, as we spoke about in the last meeting, you'll gain that little bit of confidence, that little bit of belief in yourself, right? And you'll get an air of posture about you. And to hit a goal makes you want to hit another one and another one, and it's a cycle. The more you hit your goals, the better you'll get, and the faster you'll get, and the more confident, right? And when you get confident and you're doing the action, results will come, which will lead to more confidence. Okay. So if we scroll through there, what we do, okay, we sell products, trading and education packages, right? Through word of mouth advertising, right? Now the bonus is when people buy a package, there's a percentage of that gets traded for us on our behalf, and we get an ongoing passive income, right? The second thing we do is we recruit and build teams of people doing the same thing, right? To build an ever expanding team. Now, the third thing we do is duplicate the process, right? And the fourth thing we do is improve the productivity of our teams based on leadership. So as we become better leaders, we will help through training and mentorship and all that, our teams to be better people and build things faster. See, a lot of people think we sell, recruit. They forget about duplication and leadership. Does that make sense? Now, when you first start, right, you'll be in the first 2 steps. You'll be you know, doing the selling the packages or introducing people to the packages via videos, and recruiting and building teams. If that's your thing, you know, you might want to share it to someone at a barbecue along the way, and if that's the case, great. All right, but that's what we do, guys. All right, expectations, right? The 1-3-5-7 formula. Well, let me sum it up. I need to nail that down a bit. But a lot of people think it's going to take them 1 month to get free, you know, 3 months. You know, they think it's all going to happen super fast, right? In traditional network marketing, you'll replace your income in 1 year, start to get financial freedom in 3 years, you know, become a world class in 7 years, where you can just go in any business and build a massive organization, right? But with Cash FX, it seems to be taking months instead of years. So you start to get some income within the month. You'll kind of be able, and now this is if you're working, right? You're not just going to sit there and magically join and it happens. You know, you'll start to replace incomes in 3 to 5 months, okay, and so on. But it really is one of the fastest ways to earn income, and I really cannot believe how quick this really is. So as I said, I'm still working on these. We've got the events, okay, we've got the end of month webinar that we should be on every month. We've got the Wednesday workshop with Ray every week. Every other Saturday, Ray's got a training, and every other Saturday to that, we'll be running a training within this team. We'll run these getting started trainings regularly, and plus we've also got the recordings you can attend to. So once you've gone through that, you've worked out what you're doing it for, how much you want to get, you understand the system, and for you to reach your goals, you're going to have to share it, pretty much. Okay. The next step is to launch your business. All right. Who would most people, you know, realize they've got to share it. All right. When you've got a band-aid on your arm with, you know, your hairy arms, who's the one that goes like this and peels it up really slowly so it yanks one hair out at a time and it really hurts? Who does that? Or who just like nicks up the end and go like that and rip it off really fast? Doesn't hurt as much, does it? All right. Networking's the same way. If you do it slowly, one hair at a time, it's painful. But if you do it fast, magic happens. All right. It must be your energy level or your excitement level or the fact you're getting results. And it really happens. Success loves speed. If you can get out and launch your business, you'll get your base in there very quickly. All right. And we've seen in Alex, in your team. All right. George has, kicked off and she went mentor on her first day. And she's now got a team of like 10, 12 people in her first week. And I'll tell you what, she's going to go executive in a heartbeat because she's doing it fast. Okay. Now that's, that's how to do it the best way. But like I said, each to their own. If you want to do it one at a time, that's up to you. Okay. All right, we've got a great system. All right, we're going to get into that a little bit there. We need to jump this around a bit. But basically, we've got a system of doing so that really we invite people to see some information. All right, and we're going to be talking about the 1.5 minute video and the 8.5 minute video on the CFX website. I can't remember the exact URL for it. It's down the bottom here somewhere. CFXsuccessfromhome.com. Okay. There's 3 videos on that page, 1.5 minutes, 8.5 minutes, and I think the last one's 10 minutes, which goes through the technical side. But we're going to get people to look at the first 2 videos, all right? So yeah, basically, if we go through the process, the people that we've introduced, you can say, well, how much work did I do to get you to join the business? And they'll think back and say, oh, we had a bit of a conversation. You said, look, I might have an answer for you. Got 10 minutes worth of videos. All right, you watch them and then ask them what do they like best. All right, and then if they've got some questions, you'll get in an upline to do a 3-way call to answer your questions for you. So the answer to that is when I share the information with you, what involvement did I have in doing so? In their mind, they're going to think not much. And that's the perfect scenario, because if they think that you didn't do a lot to get them to join, in their mind, they'll think, I could do that. Whereas if you're the one that does the whole presentation yourself, you explain to people, you try and convince them and all that, and you spend so much time and energy, all you're going to do is talk them out of it, because they'll think they have to do what you just did, and you'll get the I'm not a salesman objection. All right. So there we go. So let's talk about the launch. Now, my goal when I sign someone up, and I get on a Zoom and help people sign up personally, every time I do a new sign up. Why do you think that's the case? Because if they get stuck on anything, they will stop, and you don't want that. You want to get them in and paid with the least amount of resistance as possible, okay? And while I'm on the Zoom, I'm talking to them, having a conversation, and I'm hinting towards getting to launching their business, all right? Now, the best way to launch a business is to go from warm market to warm market. So if I sponsored Victoria, for example, which I did, but was probably basically when we start off, I'll be joining her up and look and say, look, you'd have people that you'd know that'd be keen on this, wouldn't you? Just in passing, to get her mind thinking of that. And while we're doing out the presentation. So I just plant a few seeds along the way, and that's something you learn to do along the way as well. And all right, once we've done all the paperwork, so right, well, when's the best time to start this, Vic? You realize you're going to have to share this, yeah? She goes, yes. And I said, well, let's kick it off. Do you know there's a really quick way to do it? All right, imagine if you sent a message like this. I've just started a new project. I could really use your help. It's very simple. Text me back so I can give you some details. All right, could you send 10 of those messages out? Right, if you're brand new, obviously you've sent messages to everyone, Vic, but if you're brand new, you'd have 10 people in your phone or Facebook Messenger you could send them to like that, yeah? All right, what do you think the response to that message would be? Generally, I would say, but yeah, sure, what do you need? Wouldn't that be, you're not really asking them to do much other than, I could use a little bit of help. Okay. So my goal would be on the same call for Victoria to send out 10 of these messages. Now, my actual goal is 35 to 40, but I only say 10 because it's less resistance. Right. So they get 10 out. Well, let's get a couple more out while we're going. Now, my goal is to send more of them out long enough so that some of the ones you sent out first start coming back saying, yeah, sure, what do you need? Right. Then the second message comes out. Listen, I need 10 people to run through a couple of short videos and give me some feedback. Here's the kicker. Can I count on you to be one of my 10? You know how powerful that line is? As soon as they say yes, they have committed to watching those videos and giving you some feedback. Let me know. Thanks, Andrew. All right. Now, what do you think most people will say to that? If you know them, these are people you know. Okay. Most people go, yeah, sure. Right. So as we're sending out some of these first ones, we're starting to get some of these back. Okay. And you send out, all right, I want to watch 10 minutes. Can I count on you to be one of my 10? Right. When they say yes, you say, right, have you got 10 minutes right now? All right. I'll jump on a Zoom and watch it with you. All right. And if they haven't, all right, don't send the video. Who knows why? Who's ever been Google bombed? Do you know what I mean by Google bombed? They work out what company you're in, they go search Google. And what do they find? A whole bunch of scam marketers that'll say anything to get clickbait from what we've got here into their program, whatever it is. And there's programs out there that teach you to do that. So what you've got to take what you find on Google with a grain of salt, right? Especially with all the censorship and stuff going on. So you want to have them either watch the videos and you call them 15 minutes later, or the best situation would be you jump on a Zoom and watch it with them. Now, to do that, you can go to zoom.us, get a free account like that, and learn how to play a video on it, which is just share your screen with a little audio tick button. As simple as that, right? Because if you watch it with them, they can't get away. Can they? You know they're watching it, and you're right there at the end of it and say, how cool is that? What did you like best? Is it the upfront earnings or the long-term passive income? Who likes that multiple choice? You don't just say, what did you like best? Because that makes people want to think. And people don't think. They'll go, I don't know. But if you give them a multiple choice question, is it the long-term income or the upfront earnings? They'll pick one. It's easier. They'll just say, I like the long-term. I said, yeah, me too. But I'll tell you what, the upfront earnings are pretty handy as well. But for you to get some long-term earnings, let's get you registered. All right. Now, if they say the upfront earnings, I'll say, me too. But I tell you what, the long-term earnings are pretty handy as well. It's just opposite. Let's get you registered so you can start earning some of them. Okay. Simple as that. Now, here's the kicker. If you're watching the video with somebody, while you're watching it, you can be typing it to me or to Willie or Alex or Tony or Victoria or any of your upline leaders to say, hey, someone's watching the video right now. Are you available to jump in a three-way? Right, and you work out someone, I say, yeah, I can jump on. Okay. And then, right, Victoria's just finished watching the 10 minutes videos. I've asked her, hey, what did you like best, up front, long term? And she's asked a question. Now, even though I know the answers, what do? I say, look, I'm pretty sure I know that, but I'd like to, hey, I just see that Willie's online. Would you like to meet him? He's crushing it with this. And Victoria's going, maybe, I guess so. And then all of a sudden I said, right, jump in, Willie. And he's there before she, and then you introduce Willie as the big leader. He's absolutely crushing this thing, right? I'm so happy to be teamed up with Willie. And then Willie will go, oh, shucks, no, I'm doing okay, but you are in the right place with Andrew. He's smashing this thing, right? It's called the credibility triangle. So you introduce the leader, whether it's crossline, upline, downline, you introduce them as someone who's absolutely crushing it. They will take that credibility you just gave them and give it straight back to you. So in the eyes of your prospect, they're with the man and the up and coming man or woman, right? Not to be sexist. Okay. So then shut your mouth and let the leader do the work. Now, what their goal would be is when I do three-way calls, I've got the hand under the table. It starts out like that, right? The first thing is make them laugh and find 2 or 3 things in common. Now, I pull a funny face or I'll tell a corny joke or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? It's a skill that you learn, but the idea is to break their state because they are defensive, right? If you make them laugh and you find out you both got kids, you like fishing and whatever, their defenses will lower and they'll think you're cool, right? That's the whole point. And you've got to do that. You know, they don't join anyone unless they know, like, and trust you, right? You've got to break that barrier. And it is a skill and you get good at it, all right? So once you've done that, basically, as the leader, this is what I would say. Look, I understand that you've just watched 10 minutes worth of videos. What did you like best? Is it the upfront or long term? Same question you asked. All right, they'll answer it and then ask their tricky question. Now, as the leader, you answer that so that the sponsor doesn't have to. Okay. Now, here's where you get real technical. You can answer that question and then you start saying the closing lines. Is there any reason holding you back from getting started today? All right. They'll come back with money. They'll come back with another question, something like that. All right. So if you could overcome the fact that, you know, the $300 to get in, you'd start with us today. All right. Then you could talk about different options. Right. But if they're still and ahhing and sitting on the fence, you could always use a closing line like this and say, listen, what did Willie do to get you to this position you're in right now? And they'll think. They go, oh, we talked for a few minutes. He said, do you want to watch 10 minutes of videos? And then he got you on to answer all the questions for him. Not much, right? And that's what you want them to think. Remember, if you do all the explaining and convincing and all that, you'll get the I'm not a salesman objection, right? And the three-way call is a very powerful way of doing it, okay? So you want them to think, oh, the sponsor really didn't do much. I could do that, and they can, right? So that's a very powerful way of doing it. So there we go. Now, there's a couple of other alternate scripts, all right? I know John Kinnear does a training, the corporate one. I'm just working on a new project. I need a small favor. I need 10 minutes of your time. Would that be okay? Now, that's very similar to this one. You're basically asking someone for some help or a favor, right? You know, I need you to watch 10 minutes worth of videos. Can you do that? That's very similar to this one here, right? Now, there are, all right, and that process is the same. And that script and that training is on in this document as well. So when you start out, there's going to be different groups of people. You're going to have the people that you know and that know you well. You know, you talk, you know, not all the time, but you might talk every couple of days, every week, every month, but they know you. If they message you, they generally respond, right? These are the people we're targeting for this script, right? The next group of people would be the acquaintances. They're the ones that you know, but you don't talk all the time, all right? Now, the warm market is the one, you know, I can ask you a favor, but the acquaintances, you're going to have to strike a conversation first and break the ice. If you come up to someone asking them for a favor after not speaking to them for 18 months, even though you know each other, it's going to sound a bit secondhand, isn't it? So you want to strike a conversation. Hey, just came across your profile. We haven't spoken in a while. How you been? What you up to? Something like that. Start a conversation, find out their pains, because most people have got them. Then there's a 2-line script, right? When you're talking to someone, having a conversation, right? And all you're doing is back and forth. And what are you doing? How are the kids? What are you doing? How's work? Find out what their pains are. What's the old saying? Form, family, occupation, recreation, motivation. Okay. Now there's a 2-line script in there. All right. When they tell you their pains, right, line 1 of the script, and they don't even know you're doing this, is, what are you going to do about that? Or how are you going to fix that? Can the boss do that? Is that legal? A little one-liner that's going to open their subconscious brain to think, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Right? If you use that one line, they will start losing sleep at night because they don't know, they don't have a plan B. Okay. And then the second line to that script is, you know how you said regurgitate their pains from. I might have an answer for you. What do you think they're going to say? What is it? Every time. Because you've already opened their brain, don't they? They don't have a plan. What is it? And say, well, here's where you put your heat shield up. Who's ever seen Karate Kid where he does his hands like this? Warms his hands up and puts the heat shield up. I'm not answering any questions. You don't say that, but say, listen, I'm just getting started. All right. The best way to get that information is to sit in front of 2 short videos. It takes about 10 minutes, and you'll have all the information you'll need to make an informed decision. When can you find 10 minutes? Can you find them right now? Great, let's jump on a Zoom call or say good day in person and watch them together. Same thing, all right? So that's how you turn acquaintances into a warm market and then basically see if you can help them, all right? Then you've got the third group of people is the people you don't know, right? I'm not even going to try and attempt to do anything other than the Power Build system for Ray in his back office. That is brilliant, right? So once you've gone through your warm market and your acquaintances, you could be starting to set the Power Build system up on the side, but you will get enough people to get your business up and running out of your warm market and acquaintances. Get the Power Build system up on the side. So when you kind of get through those people, you can start churning away at that and going. Now, Victoria, I know you've pretty much built your business on the Power Build system, haven't you? I mean, yes, you've got a few warm market people in. Are you there, Victoria? Silence. She's fallen asleep. She's 3 champagnes in on her holiday. Who else is using the Power Build system? I know, Tony, you'd still be going through all your warm market and acquaintances at this stage, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have had to go to the Power Build system just yet. Let me stop sharing for a second.
Yeah, I'm using the Power Build, Andrew. It's great. Really good system. It's a really good system. Once you get it set up, it looks professional. And yes, it's working. I've only been using it for the last few days since, since I saw it on Ray's. But no, brilliant for cold calling.
Yep.
But exactly what you've been saying about warm and hot. That's the way to go as well.
Absolutely.
The idea is keep it simple, keep it genuine. You don't have to sell. You don't have to sell.
Exactly.
All you really got to do is just talk to people and show them that you're really keen and passionate about it. And that's all you've got to do. It's this is so easy, this company, this business. It really is.
So people don't know they don't care what you know. They just know that they want to know that you care. And half the time it's just having the conversation with people, either your friends or acquaintances, to work out what their pains are. And that comes out in general conversation. You know how conversations go. How you going? What's that? How's the family? You still doing you're still in that job that you were doing? No, they sacked me, and now I'm doing this other thing, and they're cutting the hours, and the price of living's doubled in the last 3 weeks, and we can't get any toilet paper, and all the stuff they say, right? And you can bait that a little bit. I said, yeah, I know. I had friends that had to close their business because of their stupid lockdowns and all, and you can fuel it. You like throw kindling onto that fire, right, and really drill down to what's hurting and what their pains are. And then you use the one-line script. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to fix it? All right. They don't even know that that's a contact line. They just think that's a part of the conversation. Now, you have to use that line for good, not evil. All right, because that will mess with people's heads, just that one line. What are you going to do? How are you going to fix that? What's your plan B? Something like that, whatever your thing is. All right, and as soon as you get that, switch their subconscious brain on, and you go, hey, you know how you said you're losing hours and all this, and you're looking for something on the side? I might have an answer for you. Might be for you, might not. But we can only have a look, hey? And they'll go, what is it? Every time. What is it? So listen, the best way to get enough information to make a decision is to watch 10 minutes of video. I couldn't even try and explain it. That's it. Then whatever they say, well, let's jump on and watch them together. We'll say g'day, and then we'll put the videos on and we'll watch them together. Simple as that. And the key is, when you're doing that, type in the chats and say, anyone around? Someone's watching the video now. Right? You might not get it. But if someone does, you can get them in and do the three-way call. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. And the power build works brilliantly as well. You might go through more numbers, but it's just a sorting game. Right? You're going to get the people that pitch you back. They'll make out that they're interested in your business so they can pitch you theirs. You've got to stand your ground and say, look, doesn't matter what you try and pitch me, it will not even come close to what I'm doing right now. Right? And you'll have your little elevator pitch, your one-liners. Right? You'll have your one-line pitch. Right? And we should really throw a few one-liners out there, hey, to flip them. And if they're not willing to be fit, they think their scam is the best thing since sliced bread, you're not going to turn them over. But, if you find people that are looking and you get them on a call, whammo, off you go. So it's just a matter with the power build system to do the numbers. So, geez, we've belted through that pretty quick, haven't we? About half an hour. Okay. So the only, in fact, there's one last thing we're going to go through in that presentation. Now, this document, guys, we'll share. Obviously, we need to tidy it up a bit and reduce it down a bit and add a few bits and pieces here along the way. But the last process is duplication. All right. Now, if you do this right, your team will explode. Now, what do I mean by this? Who would think, who's ever joined a program? This is going to be more of a discussion, really. Who's ever joined something in the past where they say, right, here's the join link, here's a video, and that's the last you've ever seen of them? Go join here, and that's it. You never hear from them again because they've got the commission out of you. Right? Who loves that? Who's had that happen to them, and it sucks, doesn't it? Right? Who's ever had something where they jump on a call with you, help you set up, build the relationship with you, and help you get started? Have you ever had that?
Yep.
Well, you should have from your sponsor in this, right? Because if you do that, not only are they going to be loyal to you because you've spent personal time to help them set up, make sure they don't make any mistakes, but you're also as well, your goal should be with your new person is to get them someone straight away. All right. Now, I'm a bit of an advocate of setting up multiple accounts, right? If someone wanted to spend $1,000, I would say, why don't you make 300 accounts, or find an extra couple of hundred and find 4, so you can have your main account, one for your partner and your 2 kids who are 18 or older or somewhere, so that you sponsor them all personal, so you control the first 3 positions on your matrix. Now, when people start, they don't understand that. But once you build your team out and you understand how much earnings are in that matrix, all right, you just need to trust us on that. If you can own the first 3 spots, I only own 2 of mine, all right, and I had to buy one of the accounts back. I've learned from experience because, you might earn 1,000 a fortnight or 2,000 a fortnight in your main account, but you also earn close to that in your second account as well. So you double up on the matrix earnings. All right. So and we try and get people to set that up straight away and then go wide enough, right? Personally, wide enough to the main account to get 6 growing legs. Now, why did I come up with 6? because I saw Ray Sinclair's back office and he was on 100,000 pack, and his active earnings was 198% and his passive earnings was 188. All right. So in other words, the dials were basically balanced. And I said, Ray, how wide were you to get that balanced account at the 100,000 pack? And he goes, I sponsored 16 people. I've got 6 big legs. I said, thank you. Because what you need to do is get 6 big legs on 100,000 pack, and that account you basically let run, because those 2 dials will reach 200% or very close to about the same time. So you're effectively earning nearly 400% on 100,000 pack, right? After you've got that set up and running, then you can start stacking under your next account, your partner's account. Make sure there's 6 accounts in there. Then you can do one of the kids' accounts. And a corporation, you can set up multiple $100,000 packs, all balanced, so you're earning about 400% or just under. Okay. So I lost track of where I was going then. Where was I going?
So you can set up a business account and you call it a corporate account, but it's a business account.
Yeah, just, I mean, you don't have to verify it yet, but you do need to set it up and know that that's what you're going to do. You can set up a, get a good accountant or business advisor and set up an LLC or whatever it is in your country,
Yeah.
right? Or an offshore, account, set it all up there. Okay. I'm no expert on that, and I can't give you advice on that. You'll have to find the appropriate advice on that. But yeah, to do that. So that's what I've got. I've remembered where I was going. I get people to set multiple accounts up, and here's why. One, they get the top matrix spots, right? And that's something for future. They will thank you no end down the track. Number 2 is so that they see the commissions. All right. When they sponsor someone for their wife for 300 and their 2 kids for 300, they've already earned $135 plus 3 lots of 450. They've already earned $150. And you know what they do? They go, ooh, right? It gives them a taste. It's like the forbidden fruit. Once you've seen it, you can't go back. Okay. That's one way of doing that as well. So, and my goal is for them to start, once they've done those, to start working on their 6 building teams. And that's where I will sit there with them and send out messages as we went through in that thing. Now, all the while, whenever someone asks me any questions, I don't just say, here, let me do it for you. I'll say, look, this is how you do it, or I jump on a call and show them how to do it. All right. So then they know and they can teach it. Whenever they've got their first sign up, I will jump on with them and their sign up. I'll help them step it through, right? So they see it again. And the next sign up after that, I'll be on the call, but the sponsor will be stepping them through. Can you see how it's a progression where you're teaching people how to do things? I know I had one today that someone just upgraded, and it was Geordie actually. I said, Geordie, you need to go into the graphics thing, put in the name and photo, and get that upgrade graphics. Now, could have I done that? Could have I just gone in there and put the name and photo? I could have, couldn't I? But I got her to do it so that now she knows. And guess what? Every time someone upgrades, Geordie's going to be doing it. So I've just taught her something. That's the key. So you're teaching people as you go along so that their skill level and leadership skills are improving all the time. And it's just a natural progression. You might think, oh, I'm not a leader, or I've never succeeded in network marketing before. I've never done anything before. Look at Victoria. All right. I put her under Cherry May because she's only ever built a team of 3. And what are you now, Victoria? Has it punched through 400 yet? She might have nodded off. But yeah, Victoria never really had any success in the past, but now she's got a rocking team. Okay, blasting all the. Another case example of that, Desi Perez. I sponsored, so similar to Victoria, never really built a team. I think that, she was doing a product one for a year, went to all the functions and everything, and built a team of 5. Right, joined this, and her team's what, 12, 13, 1400 now, something like that. Mick Worth, right, was a truckie. He's retired now from this. He'd never built a team before either. Jumped in, did the power build system, off he went, right? So many stories of people who've never succeeded before getting success in this, okay? So, and if someone's in that situation, you can tell those stories so that you can help get the belief up as well. So we've got about 9 minutes left. Any questions? All right, that document I will edit, but if I give you the template, as I edit it, it will update live as well. You'll be able to view this, but you won't be able to edit it. Does that make sense? Just the chat.
So did you say that you just talk to a couple of people in your downline and say, are you available if I do a couple of calls to jump on the three-way?
Oh, the three-way call. If say, Michael, if you were talking to a prospect and you jump on Zoom and you're watching the video with them, you can message your upline saying, hey, I've got someone watching the video right now. Is anyone available?
Will you log in? Okay.
Right. And then if, you know, Alex or Willie or whoever your upline is, they might say, yeah, I'm around. Right. Then you could send them the Zoom link and say, just hang on, just in case. And you say, look, there's 6 minutes left. So they'll go and grab a coffee and be ready. So that if they say, if they go, right, jump in, you just click the link and come in. All right. But you've got to say to your prospect, oh, I see Willie's online. Would you like to meet him? He's crushing it in this.
Yeah.
And at that time, you're basically sending a link to Willie, jump in. And the prospect will be going, and then Willie's there, right? Because you have asked him. They haven't said no.
Yeah.
Then you introduce him, give him credibility, he'll come back, give it back to you, and then basically talk to your prospect. Right? And that's
Tony
one other,
doesn't need any sleep.
well, yeah, I mean, Tony can do the meetings. It's not hard. Basically, it's the same thing, but you're the big leader, right? And you don't have to be. You just have to have posture, right? So when Tony comes in, you'd have the thing under the table, make them laugh, find 3 things in common, ask them what they like best. Is it the upfront or a long term? Now, the other thing in there is they will try and close for you. All right, they'll answer any question and say, look, is there anything else holding you back from starting today? With a downward inflection. Not, is there anything holding you back from starting today? Upward inflection, which is a question. You're saying a statement, so you have a downward inflection in your voice. Okay. And they'll go, oh, yeah, I was just thinking this, right? Or I don't know if I can do this. And so, well, then the closing line, well, what did Michael do to get you to this position? And they'll think back and go, not much. Right, and so there you go, the simple system. Yeah, and if it's money, then you've got to cross that bridge, I guess. You know, how you do that is you tell a story. So
tell us a money story.
I can just tell a story of someone who didn't have the money and they found it. I know, you know, the feel felt found. I know how you feel when I had to find the $200 to, or whatever, $300 to join. Right, I just scrounged around. I had to borrow a few bucks off Dad to get going. But I tell you what, I've got it all back and paid Dad back, and I would never look back. This has been the best decision I've ever made. Right, the story is, all right. Here's the process of a story. It's usually 3 pains, then a transformation, and then light at the end of the tunnel. Right. I used to have to go to work at 5 a.m. in the morning, commute for an hour and a half, to spend all day on the phone stressing out at an engineering job. Then I found this or whatever, and now I can see light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not going to have to work forever. Right. You can have if you've got the results, you can tell it, but if you haven't got the results, you can say, look at the light at the end of the tunnel. This is a limited time span. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to replace my income with this very shortly, and I can put that out the door. Right now, what people will find is that oh God, going to be careful. We don't have too many other people coming to the meetings here. Hang on, I'll just lock the room for a minute. What you'll find, Adrian, I'm just doing a generic training on stuff. What you'll find is, now I've lost track of where I was. It's my next meeting starting to come in to say. Story.
Telling me how to find
Yeah.
the money.
What you'll find is if people can relate to your pains, which most people do, and they want the same light at the end of the tunnel as you've got, they'll do anything to find the transformation. That's how you tell a story every time, right? Now, people will sit there and listen to a story all day long, won't they? You start telling a story, they can't help but sit there and listen to it. It's human nature,
yeah.
Right? You look at all the leaders, when they go to make a point, they tell a story. And you look at within their training, they tell multiple stories, right? Now you think about that. Did I just tell a story about Victoria, Desi, Mick? Right? Did I tell a story about I didn't have $2 to rub together? If you look back and think what the training is, how many stories did I tell in that? All right, it becomes a habit. So, and with you guys as well, I've got 3 minutes. I better be mindful of that. Collect stories. If you've just heard Victoria's story, memorize it for the time when you've got someone, I don't think I can do this. You know, that reminds me of a time, you know, Victoria, she's in our team. She'd never built a team of 3. You saw that? And then if I don't have the money, you can remember the Andrew story or the Michael story or the Jenny story or the Linda story. Right? Everyone's got a story. Record them all, stock them away. So when you can pull out this story to show that person that you don't have to worry about that, you can overcome it. Okay. So does that make sense, guys? Now we're on a bit of a time thing here. I've got about 2 minutes left before the next meeting's coming on. Adrian, you're going to have to come out and go back on, but I hope you got some value. I will put the recording up I'll drop it in both the Dream Chasers and the Invictus group. For those who've come over from Vic's team as well, thank you and welcome. We're here for everyone because we're all in this together, aren't we? So, oh, Vic's back. You got busted. I called on you a couple of times and you didn't answer. Ah. Off drinking champagne on your holiday, were you? Yeah. All good. So hope you got some value, guys. I'm going to put this up here. But basically, guys, go out and smash this. Okay, absolutely go out and smash this because it will change your life. Okay. So on that, I've got to jump on the next call. It starts in a minute and a half. So everyone be awesome and we'll speak soon. Catch you guys. Bye.